Hey guys, what is up, and welcome back to another video. Today we are here for episode number 104 of Goattville Updates, and here we are doing something a little bit different than the previous episodes. We are finally back here working on the stadium just for this episode. I'm going to be trying out a little bit of a new style of video. It's not too much different from the older videos that I made, but they're going to be coming out on a bit more of an infrequent basis, but we're going to be covering more in each video. So with each video we'll actually be sort of covering an entire project, or in this case it's just going to be sort of a larger part of a single project. So for this video we're going to be focusing on a lot of the specific details of the stadium, some of the more interior elements as well as everything surrounding it. And yeah, so let's just sort of go through and check out everything I've done so far. Done some small improvements to the sort of back area that we have over here. There was this building which was just sort of had its frame up, and I've sort of gone through and added a bit more to it, added this backside here, and this building over here I've gone through and finished up the exterior to it, so we just need to add in some stuff to the interior, and this building will be done. And just sort of added some space here so we can set everything up. Maybe we can get around to this a little bit later. We also set up a little gate right here, so just sort of another entrance to the stadium. Didn't really fit too well with this little staircase right here, but I tried my best to fit in something here. We just didn't want it to be completely open. I'm not sure what I was thinking with the planning there, but we're going to have a similar thing over here with this, except it's going to be a little bit more, sort of spaced out with there's like some other smaller buildings with it, a couple of restaurants and such. I think would be a good idea to sort of have back here and sort of come around this way. And then over here, I've expanded out this wall a little bit, and it's looking really nice. Originally, I think I just had it going out to around like this third pillar right here, but I've had it continue down a little bit more, just to one more, so it's a little bit more complete going around, and it sort of covers up everything over here. And we managed to fit in all of the seating right over here, so it's a nice sort of a clean fit running all the way over here to the wall. And then over here, I tried my best to sort of line things up as best as I could. There's a little bit of space right here, but it doesn't look too bad, so we're probably going to keep it out how it is right now. There's going to be this little space over here. I think I'm also going to make another restaurant out of this. I think this would be a nice place to have something like that. And then there's just going to be a little bit of a fence right here overlooking sort of this east entrance that we have to the stadium there. And of course, we just added some more to the hallways over here, so we can get all the way over to there. Added another one of these little rooms right here, and it looks like that's a bit of a problem. I guess we can fix that real quick. We're gonna need to update that on the ceiling of the lower floors though. But we just added another one of these. Oh, we forgot to add the carpet in here. Oh, we didn't even actually get to finishing this. That's strange. Well, we got another one of these finished, so I guess that's another little thing that I did. Just these small little things I forgot, or that I sort of just left behind before I moved on to some of the other parts of the city. It's just sort of what I've been filling in. Down here I've also added a little bit more detail. Added a couple more of these pillars in here, as well as some of the little bits that sort of go across, sort of implying a bit of structure to this. It'd look a little bit strange if it was just a stone slab going across that just sort of hovered right here. So we went through and added a couple more of these little steel beams. I'm guessing what those are supposed to represent. And then a little bit of adjustments out here with like these little poles right there. We're going to need to adjust these trees and lamps so that these little areas do actually sort of work as like a little sort of delivery areas. Yeah, that's pretty much what we got there. And then over here, I sort of set this up a little bit. Didn't really do too much, but well, maybe we'll touch on this a little bit more by the time the next video comes around. You'll sort of see what all of this begins to turn into. But I'm just sort of filling in all the areas, covering up all the little bits of grass that were showing in the previous time that we had the stadium showing in one of the videos. And then over here, I added some more to this hallway right here. Added in a couple more of these sort of hole-in-the-wall restaurants right here. Added some sort of fencing for the queues and such, and some more stuff with like adding some lighting, filling up these walls just a little bit. They were a little bit too open in the previous one. Still haven't gotten around to adding the shops in, but we'll get around to this sometime soon. And yeah, we got, as I said here, the shops as well as the little sort of back areas. Not too furnished, but at least we got sort of all the basic stuff that we need here in these little back areas of the restaurants. All the details of the stadium that may not be too important, may not be seen too much from the outside, but when you actually go to look through it for all the specifics, I think it makes a big difference to have all the details there. And then over here in the front, we had just added a small couple bit of details right here. Added in some more of these support beams going across, just to make it look a little bit more full. probably gonna need to add something because this sort of a 90-degree angle with these with these don't really look too good. These little sort of cross-hatching beams are looking somewhat good, are improving the look of it. And we also added in a couple lights as well, so that way when we sort of go to maybe a nighttime look, it sort of lights up the area a little bit. Takes a bit of a while to update because of the ray tracing, but maybe I'll get around to it sometime. There we go, it just took a couple seconds to light up, and so yeah, we got this sort of a little bit more, which was originally quite dark, sort of like how this area looked like, so sort of good to add a little bit of lights in here so that it works at all times of the day. And yeah, that's basically it for the first week. Let's sort of move on and see what other sort of improvements we'll add a little bit later. Alright, and we are back. I've gone through and added a lot of the miscellaneous stuff to the interior and exterior of this side of the stadium. I've been trying to focus on getting all of this done before we move on to getting all the other stuff done. I've just added a lot of simple stuff, nothing too noticeable, but things that definitely will be noticeable if we don't put them in. Things that just sort of add a little bit more detail to the stadium to make it really look that much nicer. Things that typically go overlooked in the building process. So I think one of the first things I did was I added some more details here with the support, sort of holding up these little things that we got right here. I also added in a couple more floors. I think this one was already in, but I've added in this one as well. Got some space over here, which I still kind of figure out what to do with. I think over here, this was originally going to be just like some other room, or maybe just sort of an open balcony kind of area, but I think I'm going to do is put a hole right here and add another staircase which leads down. No, it wasn't going to be here. This was going to be a staircase which leads up to here. Okay, this makes a bit more sense. So yeah, there'll be like some stairs leading down this way, because currently the only stairs that we have getting up to this third floor are these stairs right here. And there's an elevator all the way down there, but like this is the only set of stairs. But well, it's alright if we just have like one or two sets of stairs leading up here to this second floor, because it's just some of like these rooms right here which don't have a lot of people gonna be in them. The third floor leads up to the upper deck, so where the majority of the seats are. So I feel like we gotta add at least a couple more stairs leading up to these higher areas. They're quite important spots, so I kind of want to make it realistic by putting some more areas of access through there. And then I think I did some more on the exterior over here. Kind of added in these little driveways for those I guess like the docking area or whatever. So yeah, I cleaned up the little bits of the trees here and the lamps. I just sort of spaced them out a bit more evenly, so I think you can see right here some of them are slightly offset. Right, yeah. So we're going to need to adjust them over there, or just make sure they line up by the time that they pass, or at least get back into their typical line. And we of course added these little trails going right through here, and then these little custom-made trees right off to the side. These are nice and small, quaint. I think they're quite pretty. And then over here we got some plans to do a little bit of changes to the road. I think just having this plain road right here looks a little bit boring, so I think I'm going to add these little things right here in the center, a little bit of grass, some of the trees, and we'll make these a little bit more narrow, which I feel like isn't going to be too bad. Usually the cars are 3 meters wide, but I'm pretty sure if we just narrow it down to like 2, it would look like cars would just barely be able to fit in. I think that would make a bit more sense. Just so put another little thing in the middle, give it a little bit more detail. And then on the interior, I think the biggest thing that I did was the main hallway. So if we go over here, I'm not too sure if I touched on this in the previous episode, not episode, the last time earlier this episode, I guess. We added a set of restrooms here, which I think I did mention in the previous one, but if not, I'm just going to go through them again because I think they turned out quite well. It's quite simple, but I almost forgot about them, so kind of glad that we managed to fit them in here somehow. But the majority of what I did over here was all these different shops. We got these ones over here in the wall, and then over here I did some furnishing to this one, which is a little gift shop. So we just got typical sort of souvenirs and stuff being sold in there, and then over here we got sort of like a sports bar. So we just got sort of restaurant, sort of a cantina looking area right over here, and then space for a kitchen back here. It's a little bit narrow for a kitchen, but we didn't have much space, but I managed to fit it in there anyway. And then I think we just have one more little space over here which I have not got around to, but it's just going to be sort of like an administrative area, maybe a place for a couple offices, maybe a place for security or whatever. And after that, I'm pretty sure that'll be most of the interior. I feel like we should have more, but this is just the interior to the stadium. The majority of where the sort of the visitors are going to be is out here, and this is where the whole area is going to be for like the shops and the restaurants and such. So yeah, we're getting pretty close to finishing up with these with this interior of this side. I think maybe by the next time we come back to the stadium, it should be about done on this side. Alright, and we're back again for some more details after another week. I think this is going to be a sort of a similar style, or at least a timeline for some of my future videos. Maybe show off a little bit more progress, so it won't be as long as this video, because I'm pretty sure this is getting over 10 minutes now. So let's just sort of quickly go over, because I've done quite a lot of stuff within the past week. Some of the first bits I added was some more bits to the sort of infrastructure here, not necessary stuff, but it sort of gives a nice look to it. The first thing I did was over here. I changed this up a little bit. It used to just be a couple things up against that wall, but I added something kind of looks like a little bit of a cage, but I think it looks fine when compared to all of this stuff. It looked a little bit empty before, so now I kind of make it a bit more realistic, and we could put in a little bit more lights as well. And then also added some couple more over here to the front, a couple more pillars over there. I think I started with some of those over there by just setting them up. And then over here, one of the biggest things I did was adding a staircase somewhere in here. And it's like up to the third floor where all the upper decks are. The only way you could get up there, aside from the elevator down that way, was through these stairs right here. And it just didn't seem fitting that the majority of the seats were only accessible by that one staircase. So I managed to squeeze in a little small one right here. It's at a much steeper angle than the other one, and not nearly as wide, but it's definitely something nice to have here, especially because there's just a random elevator here. So I thought it'd be nice to have one here, and I managed to fit it in. I did some real surgery to put this in the way it is, and so even got a nice view of the sort of the front of the stadium right there. And we got it going all the way up to the third floor, and I think I managed to fit it in. You can see just how close we got. This is literally where the seats are. So yeah, I was just barely able to fit this in. And yeah, we've been doing some more details over here, just trying to finish off this part of the stadium, this half of the interior of it. The third floor is getting pretty close to being finished. I added in a series of restrooms here in case people get tired, you know. So we got one over here. They're relatively small. It does look rather stale with all the stone here, but that's simply because all of the stuff that we have built around here was just stone, so we had to keep it somewhat consistent. Didn't want to have all those different materials being used. That's just how a little space we had up here, but I managed to make it work, and we got one set of restrooms in there, and I kind of want to try and fit in another one over here because we got plenty of space for that, and the only other ones we have on this half of the stadium are down here on the first floor. And speaking of the first floor, I did some more work down here. I was not too certain what I was going to put over here, but I managed to sort of split it off into two separate things. First off, through here, we have a small little security office. And then over here, I added in a small little, like, infirmary, is that the right word? I don't know, just a place, just because, you know, with thousands of people in here, maybe somebody would need that. And I feel like I added in something more. Oh yeah, I added in a couple more just little restaurants over here on the side as well. Nothing too special with that. And then also another set of stairs up here, just over here on the side. So yeah, we just need to go through and add in some smaller details, like kind of like the details that we add to the city with just you know, random cars and things along the street. But for this time, it's going to be inside the stadium, so we just need to make it look a little bit used and not entirely new, just to give it a little bit more detail. And this side of the stadium will basically be done. I think I can't think of anything else aside from just those few extra details that I need to do. I think by the time I come back to the stadium again, this whole half will basically be done. I don't think we have anything else more to do there, and it's taken us quite a while to do all of that, and we have to do it basically all over again, maybe even at a little bit of a larger scale because we got some more over there. We have to do that over here for the right field side. And there's still plenty of details over here, but we're not going to get to that quite yet. As for future videos, they're probably not going to be coming out as consistently as, I don't want to say as previous weeks, but maybe as previous months. Maybe one video every 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks. Definitely won't be like months in between uploads, but I'm going to try making them somewhat similar to the old Goattville building style, where I sort of just show off a little bit of progress and then go through and spend like a couple weeks building through and showing the process as I go along. I think that'd be somewhat interesting than just the short little videos every week where I don't really show off all that much. It'll be a little bit more of a walkthrough of the whole Goattville progression. And yeah, so that'll be it for this episode. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye!